Right, this morning, what are we doing this morning? It's mobility. It's full body mobility as it always is, but we're going to be focusing more on upper and, as always, the hips. We either start at the top and end in the hips, or start at the bottom and end in the hips. Always work in the hip area because there's that many muscle groups join in around that area, and that's usually the area in which a lot of people find a lot of stiffness, a lot of tightness, and that's the reason they can't move too well. That's why we always end up focusing on this area more than anything. But I'm sure you know by now, if you've been doing a few, you feel the benefit. So to start with, all we're going to do, we're going to jog on the spot nice and lightly, and I just want you nice and light on the toes. It's not a half-assed effort, but all I want you to do is all we're trying to do is just lift the heart rate up a little bit and just focus on deep breathing. Okay, we're focusing on that deep breathing. Why? Just to let that fresh oxygen circulate the body, let the blood circulate before we go into this, wake some people up a little bit, including myself. Good. So again, focus on your breathing. I'm going to be talking for the next hour. All you should be doing throughout all of this and all your stretches is deep breathing. Okay, you're focusing on your big breath in and you're focusing on your big breath out. Why? Because we're trying to relax the whole time. We're going to be in uncomfortable positions, just keep shaking out. We're going to be in uncomfortable positions, so we need to make sure we're relaxing as best we can so that we can keep going it a little bit further each time. Okay, right, that'll do you there. I'm sure the heart rates are up a little bit and you are good to go. Right, the first one we're going to do, we're starting at the neck. Okay, we can attack the neck from many angles, and like I've said before, a lot of the time we're holding a lot of tension in our necks, a lot of stress, especially during these crazy times. Or if you're sat at a desk driving, even if you're stood up a lot, you'll end up getting a lot of stiffness. Or if you've got a big head like I do, it weighs a ton, that's a lot of weight for your neck and shoulders to hold on to. So we get a lot of tightness. So what are we going to do? As always, I'm going to show you, try not to go too ahead of the game. I know some people know the stretches, but make sure you know what you're doing, don't just preempt it. So what I'm doing first, I'm putting my arm behind my back as far as I can, but look at my shoulder joint. Okay, there's no use in you putting your arm behind your back and then your shoulder joint being like this, you see what I mean? Get it as far up your back as you can, but keep the shoulder blade down and pinned. Okay, so we've got that far. We've got it pinned. We're not arching, we're not lifting that shoulder. We've not got that chicken wing sticking out, basically. You're pulling it down, you're keeping nice, good form. Now what we're going to do with the neck is go the opposite way, okay? So if you've got your right arm behind your back, you're going to go to the left. Now by putting our arm behind our back, we're basically giving ourselves a head start with this. Because if we didn't, if you take that arm away, you just feel that there's not that much of a stretch there. So we are enhancing that stretch. Okay, and also what we're doing here, if you're pretty tight in the front of the shoulder capsule, you're going to start loosening that off a little bit as well. So what am I doing? I'm trying to stretch out here, okay? The upper trapezius, all the muscles as well up here, connecting into that neck where we hold a lot of that tension. Now, I'm taking it as far as I can just by the strength in my neck. I'm trying to relax this shoulder all the time. That's the key point. And again, breathing. You should just be focusing on deep breathing. Get some chill music on. Focus, I don't know. Good, now what am I doing? I'm going to enhance the stretch. Can't really go much further. Watch you don't start going like this, okay? Because you're not actually enhancing the stretch, you're just moving the body. Get your hand on top of your head. And I want you to use the hand just to apply a little bit more force. Ever so slightly, okay? Go a little bit further. If you're hurting yourself, people have been putting up sob stories about how they're hurting themselves on these mobility classes. You should not be hurting yourself. If you're hurting yourself, then your pain tolerance is way too high, or you're just being an idiot. Okay, yes, it's normal to be a little bit sore, a little bit tender, but you should not be injuring yourself on a mobility class, okay? So what am I doing here? I'm just applying a little bit more and a little bit more until I'm feeling that stretch running down the side of my neck. Now, this is where you do have to be careful with this one, because you really could pull your neck out if you've got too much strength. Good. So now I just want you to ease up slowly out of that, okay? Now this is where it can feel a little bit sore. Oh, as you let all that blood start to move around again, it can. I'm sure you feel that. I certainly do. I've told you before, my neck is always wound up tight. So next side, same again, my arm's going behind my back. Why is my arm going behind my back? Because straight away it's letting me, as soon as I do that, I'm feeling the stretch, okay? Another way you can do this if you're in a gym or if you're at home is, you know, for example, I've got heavy dumbbells here, I'm pretty sure you don't, but if you've got something heavy like a big 5 litre bottle of water or anything with a bit of weight on it, you can just hold it and that'll help pull that down, and then you can go for the same kind of stretch, okay? So that's a good way of doing it as well. But as always, this is us just focusing on no equipment because most people don't have anything. So I've got that arm up my back. As you'll notice, I'm talking. I'm not always holding these stretches, I'm too busy talking. But I'd rather do that than just stand here and go, Good. So again, we're holding it for the first phase, is just taking it as far as we can with just our own strength, and we're trying to relax, remember? All these stretches that we're doing, you're always trying to relax, okay? It's hard to relax if it's uncomfortable, if you're in discomfort, but that's where the breathing comes in. Okay, now I've held it there a little bit. Now I'm just going to pull. Good. So make sure you're pulling it laterally. Make sure you're pulling it to the side and you're not pulling it down. Now I'm just putting a little bit of weight on each time, okay? So I'm taking it a little bit further by pulling down. Right, that's slightly uncomfortable. I'm going to focus on my breathing. Right, that's easing off a wee bit now, so I'm going to take it another couple of millimeters. Roofed, yep, I'm feeling it. That's all you're ever trying to do with these stretches, everybody. Take it a little bit further. And relax. Good, so we're going to hold it for 10 more. I said relax there, didn't I? I didn't mean it in that sense. Good, right, now relax, okay. Good, so with that, let me show you. I know you don't have a dumbbell, but I'm just quickly showing you because I want you to be able to, you know, we're doing an hour. If you find, oh my word, my neck is really bad everywhere, okay, then I want you to do more of this in your own time. But for these sessions, it's an hour long. I want to get through everything. But if, let's say you've got something heavy, it doesn't have to be a dumbbell. It's just the easiest thing I've got. It doesn't have to be crazy heavy. It's no use holding something that you can only hold for 10 seconds, but it needs to be a bit of weight, and it's the same idea. So straight away, I can get a much better stretch by holding that dumbbell. Also, if you put it behind your back onto your bum, you can start going, see how I'm starting to go forwards a little bit? You can now start stretching out up here. That's another area here that people hold a lot of tension. Okay, so that's a good idea for you. If you're finding, again, like me, your neck gets quite tense, it gets quite tight, and you feel it clicking and creaking, then it's worthwhile. All you're ever trying to do is the muscle that you're stretching, think about how you could possibly stretch it further, and it's usually a case of moving your arms around and holding some weight, okay? And again, these muscles here, these are the ones that get pretty damn tight, and we don't realise it, and we always think, oh, that tension headache's coming from here, when in actual fact, it's probably here, okay? It just feels like it. Anyway, talking. We're just going to go for neck rolls, okay? Not exactly a great stretch, but I'm sure you're going to feel the benefit while we're on this area. So all I'm doing is I'm relaxing the shoulders, I'm standing up tall, okay? And now we're doing neck rotations. Now I just want you to go slow. Now, as always with these stretches, I can't really talk because I'm doing this one. I'm just going as far as I can. Now with these stretches, I'm guiding you, okay? It's like, I'm pointing in the general direction you need to go to get to the destination. Oh, this is a good one. I'm pointing you towards the general kind of direction of where you're aiming to go, but it's up to you to find the right path, okay? So let's say you're going round and you think, wow, there's a lot of stiffness, a lot of pain, a lot of tension in there. Hold it, work on it, play around with it. Don't just keep doing neck rotations because that's what I'm doing, okay? But we're only going to go for roughly 3 slow rotations per side. And again, if you notice any areas that you think, oh wow, that area, when I'm stretching that way is really tight. Okay, you might feel it when you tuck your chin in to your chest. You might feel it all up the back. Again, if that's the case, think to myself, right, I'm going to do this one later. I'm going to do it tomorrow, tonight. I'm going to grab something heavy. And by pulling that down, I'm going to enhance the stretch. So again, for me personally, I don't know if it's just because I've got a bolder head, but I get a lot of tension in my neck, and a lot of the time it leads to headaches, you know, and I can feel it building up. What just come up there? Can you hear me? Can you see me? That's all right then. Right, this morning, what are we doing this morning? It's mobility. It's full body mobility as it always is, but we're going to be focusing more on upper, and as always the hips. We either start at the top and end in the hips, or start at the bottom and end in the hips. Always work in the hip area because there's that many muscle groups join in around that area, and that's usually the area in which a lot of people find a lot of stiffness, a lot of tightness, and that's the reason they can't move too well. That's why we always end up focusing on this area more than anything. But I'm sure you know by now, if you've been doing a few, you feel the benefit. So to start with, all we're going to do, we're going to jog on the spot nice and lightly. and I just want you nice and light on the toes. It's not a half-assed effort, but all I want you to do is all we're trying to do is just lift the heart rate up a little bit and just focus on deep breathing. Okay, we're focusing on that deep breathing. Why? Just to let that fresh oxygen circulate the body, let the blood circulate before we go into this. Wake some people up a little bit, including myself. Good. So again, focus on your breathing. I'm going to be talking for the next hour. All you should be doing through all of this and all your stretches is deep breathing. Okay, you're focusing on your big breath in and you're focusing on your big breath out. Why? Because we're trying to relax the whole time. We're going to be in uncomfortable positions. Just keep shaking out. We're going to be in uncomfortable positions, so we need to make sure we're relaxing as best we can so that we can keep going it a little bit further each time. Okay, right, that'll do you there. I'm sure the heart rates are up a little bit and you are good to go. Right, the first one we're going to do, we're starting at the neck. Okay, we can attack the neck from many angles, and like I've said before, a lot of the time we're holding a lot of tension in our necks, a lot of stress, especially during these crazy times. Or if you're sat at a desk driving, even if you're stood up a lot, you'll end up getting a lot of stiffness. Or if you've got a big head like I do, it weighs a ton, that's a lot of weight for your neck and shoulders to hold on to. So we get a lot of tightness. So what are we going to do? As always, I'm going to show you, try not to go too ahead of the game. I know some people know the stretches, but make sure you know what you're doing, don't just preempt it. So what I'm doing first, I'm putting my arm behind my back as far as I can, but look at my shoulder joint, okay? There's no use in you putting your arm behind your back and then your shoulder joint being like this, you see what I mean? Get it as far up your back as you can, but keep the shoulder blade down and pinned, okay? So we've got that far. We've got it pinned. We're not arching, we're not lifting that shoulder. We've not got that chicken wing sticking out, basically. You're pulling it down, you're keeping nice, good form. Now what we're going to do with the neck is go the opposite way, okay? So if you've got your right arm behind your back, you're going to go to the left. Now by putting our arm behind our back, we're basically giving ourselves a head start with this. Because if we didn't, if you take that arm away, you just feel that there's not that much of a stretch there. So we are enhancing that stretch. Okay, and also what we're doing here, if you're pretty tight in the front of the shoulder capsule, you're going to start loosening that off a little bit as well. So what am I doing? I'm trying to stretch out here, okay? The upper trapezius, all the muscles as well up here, connecting into that neck where we hold a lot of that tension. Now, I'm taking it as far as I can just by the strength in my neck. I'm trying to relax this shoulder all the time. That's the key point. And again, breathing. You should just be focusing on deep breathing. Get some chill music on. Focus, I don't know. Good, now what am I doing? I'm going to enhance the stretch. Can't really go much further. Watch you don't start going like this, okay? Because you're not actually enhancing the stretch, you're just moving the body. Get your hand on top of your head. And I want you to use the hand just to apply a little bit more force. Ever so slightly, okay? Go a little bit further. If you're hurting yourself, people have been putting up sob stories about how they're hurting themselves on these mobility classes. You should not be hurting yourself. If you're hurting yourself, then your pain tolerance is way too high, or you're just being an idiot. Okay, yes, it's normal to be a little bit sore, a little bit tender, but you should not be injuring yourself on a mobility class, okay? So what am I doing here? I'm just applying a little bit more and a little bit more until I'm feeling that stretch running down the side of my neck. Now, this is where you do have to be careful with this one, because you really could pull your neck out if you've got too much strength. Good. So now I just want you to ease up slowly out of that, okay? Now this is where it can feel a little bit sore. Oh, as you let all that blood start to move around again, it can. I'm sure you feel that. I certainly do. I've told you before, my neck is always wound up tight. So next side, same again, my arm's going behind my back. Why is my arm going behind my back? Because straight away it's letting me, as soon as I do that, I'm feeling the stretch, okay? Another way you can do this if you're in a gym or if you're at home is, you know, for example, I've got heavy dumbbells here, I'm pretty sure you don't, but if you've got something heavy like a big 5-litre bottle of water or anything with a bit of weight on it, you can just hold it and that'll help pull that down, and then you can go for the same kind of stretch, okay? So that's a good way of doing it as well. But as always, this is us just focusing on no equipment because most people don't have anything. So I've got that arm up my back. As you'll notice, I'm talking. I'm not always holding these stretches, I'm too busy talking, but I'd rather do that than just stand here and go, Good. So again, we're holding it for the first phase, is just taking it as far as we can with just our own strength, and we're trying to relax, remember? all these stretches that we're doing, you're always trying to relax, okay? It's hard to relax if it's uncomfortable, if you're in discomfort, but that's where the breathing comes in. Okay, now I've held it there a little bit. Now I'm just going to pull. Good. So make sure you're pulling it laterally. Make sure you're pulling it to the side and you're not pulling it down. Now I'm just putting a little bit of weight on each time, okay? So I'm taking it a little bit further by pulling down. Right, that's slightly uncomfortable. I'm going to focus on my breathing. Right, that's easing off a wee bit now, so I'm going to take it another couple of millimeters. Roofed, yep, I'm feeling it. That's all you're ever trying to do with these stretches, everybody. Take it a little bit further. And relax. Good, so we're going to hold it for 10 more. I said relax there, didn't I? I didn't mean it in that sense. Good, right, now relax, okay, good. So with that, let me show you. I know you don't have a dumbbell, but I'm just quickly showing you because I want you to be able to, you know, we're doing an hour. If you find, oh my word, my neck is really bad everywhere, okay, then I want you to do more of this in your own time. But for these sessions, it's an hour long. I want to get through everything. But if, let's say you've got something heavy, it doesn't have to be a dumbbell. It's just the easiest thing I've got. It doesn't have to be crazy heavy. It's no use holding something that you can only hold for 10 seconds, but it needs to be a bit of weight, and it's the same idea. So straight away, I can get a much better stretch by holding that dumbbell. Also, if you put it behind your back onto your bum, you can start going, see how I'm starting to go forwards a little bit? You can now start stretching out up here. That's another area here that people hold a lot of tension. Okay, so that's a good idea for you. If you're finding, again, like me, your neck gets quite tense, it gets quite tight, and you feel it clicking and creaking, then it's worthwhile. All you're ever trying to do is the muscle that you're stretching, think about how you could possibly stretch it further, and it's usually a case of moving your arms around and holding some weight, okay? And again, these muscles here, these are the ones that get pretty damn tight, and we don't realise it, and we always think, oh, that tension headache's coming from here, when in actual fact, it's probably here, okay? It just feels like it. Anyway, talking. We're just going to go for neck rolls, okay? Not exactly a great stretch, but I'm sure you're going to feel the benefit while we're on this area. So all I'm doing is I'm relaxing the shoulders, I'm standing up tall, okay? And now we're doing neck rotations. Now I just want you to go slow. Now, as always with these stretches, I can't really talk because I'm doing this one. I'm just going as far as I can. Now with these stretches, I'm guiding you, okay? It's like, I'm pointing the general direction you need to go to get to the destination. Oh, this is a good one. I'm pointing you towards the general kind of direction of where you're aiming to go, but it's up to you to find the right path, okay? So let's say you're going round and you think, wow, there's a lot of stiffness, a lot of pain, a lot of tension in there. Hold it, work on it, play around with it. Don't just keep doing neck rotations because that's what I'm doing, okay? But we're only going to go for roughly 3 slow rotations per side. And again, if you notice any areas that you think, oh wow, that area, when I'm stretching that way is really tight. Okay, you might feel it when you tuck your chin in to your chest. You might feel it all up the back. Again, if that's the case, think to myself, right, I'm going to do this one later. I'm going to do it tomorrow, tonight. I'm going to grab something heavy. And by pulling that down, I'm going to enhance the stretch. So again, for me personally, I don't know if it's just because I've got a bolder head, but I get a lot of tension in my neck, and a lot of the time it leads to headaches, you know, and I can feel it. I can feel it building up day by day. If I keep on top of it, I can keep on control of it, but it's when I just ignore it, after a little while, it just gets worse, and then you end up feeling it. It's like, oh. Okay, so that's one neck done, everybody. Giving you an insight as well to be able to do more of it in your own time, because I'm sure many of you probably felt a lot of pain, not pain, but discomfort and tightness. Right, we're on the floor, and we're probably not coming back up off the floor for the next 45 minutes, so get yourself comfortable. With these stretches, especially on the floor, you're going to see me moving around into different positions. If you see me moving, don't you move, okay? I'm just moving different angles. Camera on, camera side. It lets you see what I'm trying to get here. So the first thing we're going to do, it's like the groin stretch position on the floor, but we're going to work. We're basically going to try our best to replicate that dead hang. If you've got a bar, a pull-up bar at home, hang from it. This is what I want you to do. I want you to hang from it, but if you don't, this is the next best thing, okay? So all I'm doing, I'm just walking the hands out in front. Now it's important, notice how I'm keeping my elbows straight, okay? You can't have your elbows bent and get a good stretch here, so I want you to have your arms nice and straight, walk the fingers out, and all I want you to do is keep going, tuck your head in, until you start to feel tightness. Now I'm going to stand up and show you what you're trying to do because it'll be easier. All I'm ever trying to do here is this. So I've got my arms straight, and now if you're tight, if you struggle to do this, as in like your nice good overhead mobility, you'll probably look a bit more like this, okay, if you try to go straight up. If that's you, I want your arms as straight as possible, and then round about here, so you're on the floor, round about here you're going to start feeling tightness, probably in around this area here, probably in around the chest as well, okay? So let's go there, let's take it. As soon as you feel that tightness, you're trying to push through it, you're trying to focus on your breathing. Now I'll show you what I'm trying to do side on. So you should be in this stretch already. I want you to have an understanding. So groin stretch, we go back the way. This one, it's up to you what way you go. Move your body around to enhance the stretch. You're going to feel it here on the back muscles, the side of the back muscles. You're going to feel it on the chest, maybe, and at the shoulder joint. It just depends how tight you are, okay? So again, the most important factor here is don't let the elbows bend. So what am I doing? I'm trying to push my body, my chest through. If you've got pretty good overhead mobility, which again, I'm not being biased, but I do because I work to keep it that way, because that's important to me, then I can achieve this position and I can get a nice stretch from it, okay? For someone with good overhead mobility, you're just maintaining this, okay? We're not really getting much better in this position. Dead hang, hang off a bar, hang off an apple tree branch, anything. That's far superior to this. You're going to get a much better stretch. Let's get down there, let's hold it. Now, if you are severely tight, or let's say, you know, naturally your posture's rounded, okay, you've got quite rounded posture, bad posture, you sit a lot, maybe even stand up a lot, you know, it's the same thing, or you spend a lot of time like this, you're going to find that you struggle to open that chest up. So you're going to find tightness in here. Let's keep it going. Stop farting about on live. Get yourself in these stretches and hold them. I'm talking you through it to get you better. Okay, remember with these stretches, we're trying to hold them 2 to 3 minutes, trying to take it as far as we can. We're breathing. Our muscles relax a little bit because we've been breathing well. We take it a little bit further. If you're just coming in and out every 30 seconds, you're not really getting the benefit from it, okay? So, and I appreciate it can be uncomfortable for some people. That's it, that's all we're after. Okay, good. So, I'm holding it. Last 30 seconds, I want you to take it as far as you possibly can here. Okay, how do I take it further? Walk the fingertips forwards. Keep the chest fixed over the same position. Good, and I want you to push your head and chest towards the ground. And you might even get to shift the hips back a little bit. Be creative, play around with it. If it enhances the stretch, go for it. If it takes away from it, go back to what you were doing. So predominantly I'm feeling this down what would probably feel to you like your sides, the sides of your back, okay? That's your big back muscles. That's where we got a lot of tightness. Good, and slowly ease out of that one. Slowly, okay. So again, I'm going to explain very quickly the importance of that overhead mobility. If you struggle, and you can test it right now, in fact do it if you're on live, if you're watching this afterwards, test your overhead mobility. You should be able to have your hands up as if someone says freeze at 90 degrees. My shoulder blades are pinned together. I should be able to get my arms straight up, locked out above my head, while keeping my shoulders in the joint, okay? Problem is, we lose a lot of range. We've got a lot of tightness in the chest, a lot of tightness in the back, which we were just trying to address there. So when you do that, you get to about here, you start to feel it tight. So one or two things happen. You either start shrugging, your shoulders up and it feels really uncomfortable, or your arms come out to the front, okay? So now imagine you're doing exercise, you're pressing something above your head. If you can't do that freely, you're going to start leaning backwards to compensate. So you can see how, yes, it's straight up, but my arms aren't actually working properly. It isn't actually my shoulders, and you end up hurting your lower back, okay? Or you stand up straight and you try to press overhead, and you actually press it out in front of you, okay, instead of this way. So it's important, and again, that's where you get a lot of pain, a lot of problems with your neck and shoulders and nerves. People get a lot of problems running down their arms with shooting pain, nerves, etc., numbness, all because this gets jammed up. So it's important, even if you don't do a lot of overhead pressing, we should be able to move freely in that range of movement. Yes. Right, okay, next up, we're going for the forearm one. Forearm one's a brute, okay? So we're getting on our knees. The forearm one's a brute, but it's an important one. Now, don't hurt yourself on it, okay? If you're taking this to the point where you're hurting yourself and then you're hurt after it, you know, come on. I like to think we've got the common sense to know the difference between discomfort and pain, okay? Right. But if it's feeling wrong, you know, this one's very uncomfortable. So there's going to be a lot of discomfort in this one. What am I doing? Okay, so if you look at my hands, they're completely reversed round, so my fingertips are facing towards my knees. Okay, so from the side, it looks like this. I don't know if that's that's probably a better angle. Right, so my palms are flat and my elbows are locked out, and I'm always trying to keep my fingers and my palms flat, okay? Now what I'm going to do is just shift back the weight a little bit. So look at my body, I'm going that way. So all I'm trying to do, it's almost like doing that ankle stretch against the wall. All I'm doing is trying to move against the joint so that it stretches out those muscles. But you have to, this is where you have to focus on your breathing here, because this is quite uncomfortable. You'll probably find that you're tensing up against it. So just think, relax, relax, breathe, and you will feel the difference. You can feel that you're tensed up against it. So I want you to take it, for me right now, I'm probably right, if I go another millimetre, you're going to see my face start to change shape. Okay, so this is uncomfortable. So this is a lot of range we lose as well. How often do you put your wrist in this position? But if you exercise regular, especially if you're picking up barbells, etc., and you don't have this range, that's why a lot of people moan that their wrists kill them. And then they don't hold the bar properly. Okay, and if you don't hold the bar properly, you're going to lose power, but that's another lesson for another time. Right, it's getting uncomfortable. I'm just shifting my weight back a little bit. I'm moving these legs back a bit so that I can enhance this stretch even further. Okay, now it's uncomfortable as hell. Keep locking those elbows out. Good. So if you spend a lot of time, I don't know, sitting driving, sitting at a desk especially, you'll find that this is all jammed up in there. And again, that's where you start getting bothered. Okay, now what I want you to do, to take it up a notch, because we're sad, or we're sadistic, maybe it's sadistic's the word. I'm going to try and bend my elbows, okay? I'm going to try and bend my elbows. Enjoying that now, eh? Good. So this is where you have to be careful. If you feel like something's going to snap, or you're feeling pain, it's probably not a good idea to keep going on, okay? Good. Now I want you to slowly, very slowly ease out of it. When you ease out of this one, it's going to be very uncomfortable, okay? Yep, so you're going to take your arms up and they're probably going to want to stay in that position now. Okay, bring them back up, shut the fist. As always, in between stretches, stand up, shake out, and I'm sure you're feeling that one thinking, why the hell am I doing that? That's horrendous. Just relax it, shake it out, pump the fists a little bit, okay? Let the blood circulate again. So that's important. That is a lot of range we lose, okay? And again, if you're all tight, if you're sat there like this, typing all day with bad posture, then that's when you end up getting a lot of problems with your wrist and elbows, etc. So again, you can't help what you do for a living. Well, you can, but you can combat the negative effects of it, okay? Keep on top of these things, especially if you're finding that uncomfortable, or if you do lift a lot of weights. For example, squat thrusters, okay? You're holding the bar like this. The bar's on the fingertips. Most people don't do it properly or hold it on the fingertips because it's so uncomfortable here. So if that sounds like you, that's what you need to be doing, okay? That one. Anyway, next up, we're going for the core. This is a nice one. After that one, this is a nice one. We're going to stretch out the core muscles. Now, I want you to get in the press-up position. So, easiest thing to do, have the legs squeezed together, plant the hands next to the shoulders. And all I'm doing here is just lifting up slowly. Now, if you've got a dodgy lower back, just take care on this one. Go slowly into the extreme range. All I'm doing is lifting up. Now, my hips are on the ground, as you can see. They've not come off. Just be careful again. Lower back, it does put a lot of pressure on your lower back, but it's fine. It's perfectly safe, unless, of course, you've got a dodgy back already. So you can see how my arms are locked out. And all I'm doing, again, I'm trying to relax here, everybody. Okay, it's very easy to be in this one and be like, oh, and shaking. If you're shaking right now, relax, okay? Just relax. Weight onto those hips, weight onto those legs. How are we feeling? Everybody okay? Good? Everyone all right? You don't need to answer me, I'm just looking if you can give us a... I've seen a lot of people in strange positions. Good. So we're trying to get these elbows locked out. If you're holding a semi-press up position, all you're doing there is fatiguing. You're going to find yourself getting pretty tired. So lock the elbows out as best you can. Good. If you're holding that position and it feels okay, which for me, yeah, there's a bit of pressure on the lower back, but it's okay. I'm just going to try and force back a little bit more. Okay. Now, if you've got decent mobility again, fine. If you're pretty tight, where are you going to feel this? I'm moving out of this position, don't you move out of this position. I'm going to be feeling it probably right up the front of my body here, so that's a good stretch for the core. If you do a lot of core work in a circuit, for example, and it's feeling like it's really sore, come on, let's get back up into that position. We're only holding it for another 30. You're going to feel it all up the front here. You might even feel the hip flexors coming into it if you're tight. If you're not tight, it's more of just a nice feel-good stretch, okay? Right, we're going to ease out of that one. Good. So that's a nice chilled, easy one. That's a good one to do. Again, if you do, you know, some of these hit circuits, we do a core finisher at the end and it's just like, it's burning. It's a good one to do at the end just to disperse all that lactic acid. Right, where are we at next? We are on to, right, chest. This is one that, this is one of these stretches you can do where you're just holding it going, oh, this is all right, this. You have to have the initiative to move around and play around with your position to get it right for you, okay? So I'm going up to the wall. I'm using a wall. You can use any wall. Doesn't have to be, yeah, everybody that's on live's in a room, that's cool. Right, so all I'm doing here is using the wall as an anchor, okay? I'm grabbing it. Where am I grabbing it? This is where you have to play around for what works for you, okay? Now, if you've got the corner of a wall, get on at the corner of the wall. If you've got a doorway, use the doorway. If you've just got a flat wall, that'll work fine, okay? So I'm grabbing it roughly about shoulder width height, maybe just a bit lower, but I won't really know until I get into the stretch. What am I trying to stretch out? I don't know if you can see me well. I'm trying to stretch out the chest, okay? I'm trying to stretch out all this area. Where you feel it exactly depends on how tight you are. A lot of you will probably feel it right in at that shoulder, okay? Now it's important when we're stretching that we keep the shoulder in the joint. Okay, so there's a pattern here. We're stretching the shoulder and chest out. We want to keep the shoulder in the joint. We don't want to start moving it out the joint. So let's get into that one. So I'm grabbing the wall. I'm not grabbing the wall, I'm grabbing my doorway. If you're doing it flat against the wall, I want you to hold the wall and face the wall. This is the wall, and you're just going to do the same thing, okay? But because I'm grabbing this door, it looks a little bit differently. So all I'm doing, I'm grabbing it, I'm anchoring it, I'm keeping that shoulder blade in, pulled together, and all I'm doing now is just twisting away from it until I start to feel a bit of an initial stretch. So straight away from there, I'm angling my body away from it, I'm keeping that shoulder blade pulled together, I'm not starting to arch forward, okay, I'm staying up nice and tall. And this is where, now before you start going further into the stretch, play around with the hand position. Where do you feel the better stretch? Do you feel it better if it's down low at 45 degrees? I don't. Do I feel it if it's up higher? Not too high, probably round about just below shoulder height for me. But again, I'm different. Everybody else is different. So play around with your hand position before we start taking this further. Now what am I doing? I'm just twisting away and I'm relaxing at the same time. Okay, so I'm twisting away to get the stretch. Where am I feeling it? For me, I'm feeling it from my bicep, pretty much from my bicep all across down here to my chest. Exactly where I should be feeling it. If you're really jammed up tight in at the shoulder joint or chest, you're probably feeling it there more than anything. So all I'm trying to do is target this area. And again, it's not exactly the most exciting thing in the world. Okay, now I've been breathing, I've been constant with that position. It's starting to relax a little bit as it does. My brain's like, yep, it's pretty safe to go this range actually. So I'm going to take it a little bit further. Let's go another inch or two. You might have to twist your body into some weird position. But make sure when you're moving, good, make sure when you're moving you always keep that shoulder blade tucked in. Keep that shoulder pinned. Don't start letting it roll. Okay, good. Now don't ease out of it. Take it further. Breathe. Good. So it's pretty obvious why we need range in this. You know, we get tied up pretty tight in this area, especially. A lot of people do, especially people that I meet. And it affects a lot of things. It affects the movement of your shoulder joint. Good, right, 30 seconds. I want you to take it as far as you can now. This should be uncomfortable zone now. This is where you're trying to relax, okay, but it's uncomfortable. Don't ease out of it. Good, and just keep focusing on that breathing. So if you're doing some of these circuits and you're in the crab position, for example, you're feeling a lot of pressure on your shoulder, right in here, feels almost sore, uncomfortable, real stress in the shoulder, relax out there. And again, when you start doing some bicep curls with your hand, you probably feel that pretty uncomfortable. So shake it out, move around, then we're going to go to the other side. So if you're missing a lot of range, if you're a lot of tightness in here, again, that straight away is going to affect your overhead mobility, but it's also going to start making it hard for you to keep your, see that good form we're always talking about, shoulder blades together, especially on exercises like bench press or press ups. If you're not moving freely, then you're going to start compensating, which usually involves your shoulder coming out the joint. If your shoulder's coming out the joint, you're opening yourself up to impingement, you're going to end up injuring yourself over time, okay? So it's very important. This range here, it's a very important one we have as well. Hence why we're doing it. Okay, so I'm going to turn my back on you now. Exactly the same, you know what we're trying to go for here. So I'm in, I've got my hand on the wall. So if you're at home and you don't have a door to hand, just imagine this is a wall, okay? I'm facing the wall, I've got my hand on the wall. Again, I've got the right position for it, and I'm just twisting my body away first. I've not got my back to you, you can see me. Good, so straight away I'm feeling that. I'm taking it to the initial point first, we'll call that the initial point. I'll feel a stretch, I'll feel a good stretch. This would be the point now that I'm holding, where if I wanted to maintain my current flexibility and mobility, I would just hold it here. Okay, but we're not trying to maintain, we're trying to develop, we're trying to get better. So we're holding it here, breathing, and then you're going to start to feel it relax a little bit. It's going to feel not quite as sore after a little bit of breathing. And then at that point, that's where the developmental comes in. We start taking it a little bit further. Whoa, it's uncomfortable now. Good, but always trying to keep that shoulder in the joint. Keep breathing, keep relaxing. We don't want pain. We know that. I keep saying that every mobility class. We don't want pain, but make sure you can handle the discomfort. You take the discomfort to a level you can handle, okay? If the discomfort becomes pain, then don't keep doing it, okay? That's again what I would like to say is common sense. Take care on these, okay? That's why we just go a little bit at a time. We don't just go straight into the full whack, trying to dislocate our shoulder. Good. 30 more seconds we're going for, so this is you going for it now, taking it as far as you can. Discomfort and pain, what's the difference? Discomfort is this, what I'm feeling now. It's that kind of, I don't like holding this position here. Wouldn't fancy holding it all day, but I can handle it. It's not feeling like it's anything ill effect that's happening to my body. Pain, what is it? Shooting pain nerves. If you're feeling heat or even numbness or anything while you're doing these stretches, or it's caused by these stretches, ease out of it a little bit, okay? That's bad, okay? That's not what we want. You know, that's what you need to get in your head. So a lot of people, you know, you have to be taking it to a point that your body doesn't quite want to go to, and as a result, you're going to have to fight it a little bit. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it should not be something that you're going, you know, needing to put something in between your teeth to chew. That's not the way we're going here. Right, anyway, next up, what are we on? Right, last one for the shoulders. This is one where it's not a classic stretch. Now we're going to mobilize, don't even know the word. Mobilize the actual shoulder joint, the actual capsule of the joint, okay? So it's not going to feel like a stretch that we're doing where you're feeling all that nice long muscle stretching out. It's going to feel more right on the zone, but it feels a little bit different. You have to pay attention, you have to listen to what I'm saying, and you have to do it right. If you're holding this stretch and you're not feeling anything, you're either really mobile or you've done it wrong. So if you're doing this one, I would say you're probably doing it wrong unless you do a lot of mobility work and you've got good range on your shoulders. So first thing I'm doing, I'm getting into the glute bridge position, and I pretty much am glute bridging up. Now, you have to play around with this one to get it right. You have to play around with it to get it right. Usually it's the position of your elbows you have to move. So the most important part of this stretch is keeping this going, keeping this. Shoulder blades are pinned to the ground always. As soon as you start letting that happen, if your shoulders start to come out, get back into it, because if your shoulders come out, you're not stretching anymore, okay? Right, let's go for it. So glute bridge position down, plant the feet, I'm up with the butt, and now I'm just wriggling so that I'm right up on those shoulder joints. Shoulder blades are pinned. Now I'm going to put the back of my palm on my lower back. Back of the palm and the lower back. So my butt's starting to go on fire now, but don't worry, we're easing out of it in a minute. So look at my elbows. If your elbows are too close into your body, you're not going to feel it. You need to have the elbows more out, 45 degrees, but you need to play around with it and see what works. Now I want you to start loading the weight onto your lower... No, let's start again. Load the weight onto your hands by lowering the butt onto it. But the most important part is look at my shoulder joint. It's staying pinned. Now I'm feeling that already. Where am I feeling it? I'm feeling it here. Feeling it right in that shoulder joint. Okay, so I'm feeling that. If you're not feeling it, play around with the position of your elbows. And if you're really not feeling it, your shoulder blades have gone like this, okay? I've exaggerated it, but that's what's happened. So you need to get back up, wriggle back into those shoulder blades being squeezed. And all you're trying to do is lower the weight of your hips onto your hands while keeping your elbows and your shoulders fixed in position. Okay? So all I'm basically doing, remember at the start of this, when we've done that stretch by putting our arm behind our back, basically what I'm doing, except by now loading the weight of my hips onto my hands, I'm enhancing that stretch. Okay, so this is a weird one. This can be very uncomfortable if you get it right. It feels almost like you're going to dislocate your arm. If you're not feeling anything on this, check your shoulder blades. Are they pinned together? Are they still pinned to the ground? If not, bring it back up. Okay, if your upper back started to round, like I've just shown you here, if it started to round and those shoulder blades are off, you ain't going to feel it. You need to get back up, pin the shoulder blades, lower the hips down. Now it's perfectly normal to feel your butt going a little bit on fire here. It is working, but I'm loading the weight on. To get this right, you have to have the shoulder blades pinned, you have to have the elbows pinned. Good. And you're trying to get the butt towards the ground as close as you can. Right, that's horrible. And again, you're just taking it to that point that you can bear. Breathe, relax as best you can, but this is not a comfortable one, everyone. This is not a comfortable one. If you're doing it properly, I'm sure you're feeling it right about now, and it doesn't feel pleasant. Almost feels like someone's wrapped their arm up your back, and they're pulling on it. Good, now I want you to ease out of this slowly. Okay, so if you were not feeling that stretch, you're either super mobile, which, not being horrible, but I doubt, because you should feel it anyway. Now, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to basically put my arm behind my back like that and pull it back, okay? By doing that and keeping the shoulder blade pinned, you're going to really feel it in the shoulder capsule. It's going to mobilize it better. So in your crab positions, anything that involves this is going to stop that happening, okay? That horrible shruggy thing. So it's opening up that range here. Again, a lot of people lose that, okay? If you weren't feeling it, all that was happening was you were probably starting to round your upper back off the ground, as in you weren't pinning it, like this was happening. Or you didn't have your elbows in the right position, okay? But I'm sure you all felt it, and if you didn't, play around with it a little bit more in your own time. I did my best there. Did my best to explain it. I can't do much more than that. Right, stand up, shake out, get some water on board. We're flying through this morning. That is upper body almost done. The last bit upper body we're going to do, we're thoracic spine, we're T-spine. We're thoracic spine. Mid-back mobility is important. So this here, you can test it just now. Keep your pelvis facing forwards and just try and rotate. You should be able to rotate right round freely. Again, nice relaxed shoulders without your body starting to stiffen up. Now, a lot of time when people are doing that, they feel it tight in here. Why is that? Because they're tight in there. This is a very important range we need to have. And again, if you start losing that range because everything's starting to tighten up, that's when you're going to start pulling muscles. That's when you're going to start getting bother. Okay, so a lot of the time, it's usually in here we lack the mobility. Those big, thick QL, quadrus lumboris muscles, okay? There's one for you. Right, so anyway, you can attack this in several ways. The way we usually do is when we're doing this stretch, you know how when we're doing that? That's a good way to do it. However, if you're bad at that stretch because you're so severely tight, you can't get up, it's not the best way to get better at it. This is a good way for you to start, okay? So let's sit in our butts. Theme of the morning. So if you really struggle on that kind of warrior position one that we do, side to side, as in you really struggle to get up, or you know, doesn't matter in general. I'm sure you're going to feel this one. Now, what am I going to do? My legs are straight. I'm going to bring one leg up and put it over. See what I've done there? Pretty simple. Look at the position of the foot. I'm putting it above my kneecap so that it's pretty much pinned in there. It's not going to start sliding down my leg. I'm pinning it up there. It feels pretty much pinned. Now, hips. It's important on this one. See how I'm always telling you in Russian twists not to sink the hips, not to sit on the hips. Keep the pelvis up, keep it locked out nice and tight. Good form, okay? Well, lower back should be up, not sumped. Same when you go to sit down. If you sit in a car, if you sit in your office chair, get the butt right to the back of it, and this is how it should be. If you're sat on the hips, which a lot of people do, that's not good. That's really not good. So make a habit of when you sit in a seat, what I do is sit on the backrest of the seat and slide down so that my butt is right in the back of that seat, as far back as it can go. Top tip for you, lifesaver. Okay, right, so what am I doing here? I want you to get the arms straight. Just imagine we're doing that. And I want you to twist round as far as you're able to on this first side, okay? So let me just test this. Hold that. Aye, this is the easy side, okay? So this is just easing you into it a little bit. Look at my hand. All I'm doing, it's in line with my toes, okay? I'm not coming way round yet. If you can come round, great. But all I'm ever trying to do throughout this one is keep that good form. There's no point you being like this, and your lower back's all to shot. Nice, good posture, twist it round. Where am I feeling it? Completely depends on you, okay? Most people are probably feeling it in the lower back to some degree, those big meaty muscles. Or you might be feeling it in your upper back. You might feel it really restricted. But look what I've done. I've rotated my body. So, I don't know. I'm facing you, sorry. That's the best way to describe it. I've started, everything's facing forward, and I'm twisting my upper body around so it's facing you. Yep. Good. Now I'm going to go the other way. Same foot, staying in the same position. I'm just facing the other way. So I'm going round this way now. And this is where you'll feel a lot harder, okay? So how do we describe this? Yeah. If you've got your left leg up and you're going towards the left side now, you're going to feel it more. So I've got my back to you, I do apologise. But for me now, this is a lot harder. That side's easy. If you go away from the leg that's bent, if your left leg's bent, you go to the right, that'll be easy. If you go left leg bent to the other side, that's a lot harder. And that's the side I'm trying to attack now. Stay in that position, don't move, I'm coming round to show you. So, for me now, I'm feeling it. Okay, I'm feeling this side's pretty tight. Try and use that knee as an anchor, okay, so that I can get round. Try and keep the hips up, don't start slumping. Good. Are we feeling that? If you're on live, give us a thumb. Is it feeling good? Good. So this is a good lower back saver as well, because I'm sure you're probably feeling it in your lower back. You might not. Good, right, we're going to change legs. We're going to change legs. So all I'm doing now, I don't know what leg you've done, but I'll talk you through it. So just apply the opposite. I'm doing my right leg now. So my right leg's coming up, my right leg's coming over my left. Yep. Easy side for me is if I go to the left now. So my right leg's across, easy side is over to the left. Okay. That's like when we do that warrior one, when we lift the hand up that's closest to the foot. It's not too bad. You might still feel it a little bit, but to be honest, it's nowhere near as much as I did when I go the other way. So on that note, I'm going to go the other way now. Okay, so I'm going to go straight away. I'm feeling it. I'll turn around to show you. Aye. So that, okay, I'm not quite all the way around yet, and I'm feeling that. Where am I feeling that? I'm feeling my lower back jamming up. But again, and I'm happy to say it, my lower back is always something I'm constantly fighting with. Not in a bad way, but because, you know, a lot of weightlifting, a lot of heavy weightlifting, you're putting a lot of work on your lower back, and it's an area that's always, again for me, working hard. So as a result, when I say I always need to work on it, it's not because I've got a bad lower back. It's just tired, it's stiff. Okay, same way, I don't know, do a lot of squat jumps, your quads get tired. So for me, that lower back is something I have to keep on top of. And let's say I did do a lot of exercise. I did exercise it and put my lower back under a lot of workload, and I just left it to seize up. that's when you start going little ranges of movement. When you're cold, let's say you get up out of bed, you drop your phone on the floor, everything's all jammed up tight, you try and take it to an extreme range, and then that happens. Then you're walking around like, oh man, oh no. That's why it's important we free all this movement up, okay? So again, Russian twists, not a fan of the exercise personally, just because of that. It puts a lot of strain on your lower back, but if you're doing a lot of Russian twists and you feel really restricted on them, that's probably why you're missing a lot of that movement, okay? Anyway, education's over. Let's get the groin stretched out, our favourite one of the day. Going on to the hips now, everybody. We're going to spend 10 minutes on the hips, and then we're done. So we're going to go for the key areas today. We're not doing the full hip shebang. We're going for the ones that matter most, the ones you're going to get the most from. So facing you, I'm going as wide as I can with the knees. This is the groin stretch. This is probably one of the, I'd say my favourite ones for getting a good bit of mobility into the hips. Groin, I'm going as far as I can with my knees. It's kind of like that overhead one we've done at the start. Okay, so I'm just showing you from the front first. Then I'm getting my arms out in front, okay? So go that far. Arms out in front isn't that important because you're going to see in a second, I'm going to show you side on now. So, knees. As you go into this stretch, start trying to pull your knees apart more, okay? My feet is behind my knee, my foot is behind my knees. I've not got them in like this. I've got them straight. I need to leave room for my big bahookie to get down in between them, okay? Now, what am I doing? It's like a squat now. I'm shifting the weight back. And as I do that, you're going to start feeling it in your groin. What you do with your arms is up to you, okay? For me personally, my advice is if you've got bad overhead mobility and you're holding the arms out at the front and you're feeling it really badly on here, on the upper body, and you're not stretching the groin properly because of that, then just get on the elbows like I am. All I'm trying to do is look at my spine. I'm trying to keep it neutral. I'm not trying to do this. So if you can get away with just having the elbows on in front like I have, do that. But what am I doing here? It's a combination of just pulling my knees apart and pushing my hips and my butt back, okay? So if you're able to, look at me now and I'm going to show you. I'm trying to go that way as far as I can, but without losing form. So all I'm doing is I'm breathing. Okay, so this could be an uncomfortable one. I'm taking it to the point in which, yep, this is uncomfortable, and I'm going to focus on my breathing. I'm not going to ease out of it. I'm just going to breathe. I'm going to relax. I'm going to try and relax those knees into the ground. Okay, that's feeling all right. I'm going to take it another millimetre. Ugh. Just keep adding little bits more onto it each time, okay? Make sure each time you're adding a bit more stretch that the quality of your body doesn't change. Make sure you don't start arching your back or you don't start wincing against it, okay? It's no use if you're taking it to the point where it's uncomfortable and it's that uncomfortable, you're like this, and you're just shaking because you're not relaxed, okay? We're going for 30 more seconds and I want you to take it as far as you can now, okay? Really go for it. Really pull those knees apart. Really push those hips back the way. Good. I'm not speaking anymore because this is hellish. Good. Now I want you to very slowly ease out of this one, okay? Take care. And I want you to stand up. I want you to shake it out. I want you to walk about. Good. So if you've been doing a few mobility classes or even circuits by now and you've been listening to what I say, I'm sure you now start to realise the importance of having good groin mobility. Okay, so on these squats that we're always doing, you're always hearing me saying, pull the knees apart. Why do we pull the knees apart? It opens up the hips, it allows us to go down lower without us tipping forward, okay? So it keeps us in more of a, okay, good squat, as opposed to if I don't open up my hips. So let me show you while you're getting a drink. I'm squatting down. If I don't pull my knees apart or I'm really tight in the groin, I get to about here and I feel like I physically can't go any lower, okay? However, if I pull my knees apart, suddenly I can get down a good bit lower. Feels harder, of course it does. I'm working through a greater range of movement, more muscles are involved, but that's better. I'm getting more from my squat, okay? You should be. Look at a baby. A newborn baby can sit in this position for hours, even deeper than this, and look completely comfortable. And their spine is completely neutral. That's the range in which we should all be able to move. but then that baby starts sitting on its arse, it starts sitting about watching telly and stuff, and then slowly, year over year, it starts to get more and more decrepit, okay? So that's the importance of this range. We should all be able to move like a newborn baby, but unfortunately we can't because we don't keep on top of it enough. Right, anyway, that's for groin stretch. Next we're going into the horror. The horror, but probably in my opinion, the single best stretch we could possibly do for making your squats better. Bar ankles, okay? If you've got bad ankle mobility, this will not address it, but this is the best one, okay? Most important thing about this one is it's uncomfortable. It's as uncomfortable as you make it, as all the stretches are. Make sure you don't ease out of it. So we're going to be changing positions. You know what's coming. Changing left, changing right. Make sure when you do that, you don't have a wee sneaky. So if we're going from here to here, don't go, hold it, grin and bear it. We're going to go for about 3 minutes per side, okay? What am I doing? Big prominent lunge forward, hands next to the foot, okay? That's the first position here. Let me show you from the side. Big lunge forward, hands in line with the foot. Have to be in line with the foot. Even pin that foot down with a hand if you like. Okay, so this is what I'm going for. You can see that I'm trying to push my hips towards the ground. I'm trying to force my chest up. You might not be able to get that chest up. Why? Because it's all matted up tight, like I said at the start. So those movements we were doing at the start are going to help address this. So if your back's arched and you're fighting it to get it straight and you just can't quite get it straight, the stuff we were doing, dead hangs, they're the best. Or do the mobility exercises we were working on before. But just over time, you'll get better at this one. Trust me, when I discovered this stretch, I remember I was like this. I was like, oh my God. And then I tried moving my arm. And I was like, oh, it's not even possible. But it is. You just have to keep doing them. And I'm sure you are feeling you are getting better if you've been doing them for a little while. Don't move. I'm facing you now. Right, so while we're holding this, this is just the initial part. It's not comfortable. I'm trying to push my hips down. I'm trying to force my chest up. Okay, now as always, I keep saying to you, imagine you're squatting, because effectively that's exactly what's happening to that leg to the side of you there. It's at the bottom of a deep squat. Toes, drive them into the ground, okay? You'll feel the difference here. If not, you'll probably feel you're starting to cave out on the foot. So when I'm telling you, again, I just repeat myself over and over again. When you're doing these circuits and I'm telling you drive your toes into the ground, now's your chance to see why. There's not even any weight on that foot. And if I drive my toes in, look at it, solid, ain't moving. That's important, okay? Foundation on a squat. People just disregard their feet and think too much about knees and butt and everything else. What am I doing now? I'm going to start going that way. But when you're doing it, make sure that knee's fixed in position. If you're not sure, pull the knee apart, drive the toes into the ground, and just start moving your body this way, okay? But look at me now before you start that. Don't let the hips come up. If I start going this way, it's quite prone for me to start shifting the weight back because it's stiff and my hips are coming up. You should be going this way and enhancing the stretch. If you're going this way and you're not feeling the stretch getting better, then you're doing something wrong and it's probably you lifting the hips up, okay? So everybody's different here. Again, I'm not leading you down the path, I'm just showing you the way to go. So if you're going this way and you think, God, if I just drop my chest a bit more, that's even better of a stretch there I'm getting, then do it, okay? Or, I don't know, go the other way a bit more. Play around with it, it's your stretch. You're trying to do anything you can to make it better along the guidelines I'm giving you. Because everybody's different. For me right now, I'm really feeling it just twisting to the side. I'm focusing on pulling that knee apart. Good. And I'm forcing my chest up. Okay, now I'm coming back into the center, but I'm not easing off. Don't be tempted. Don't be tempted. It'll be worth it. Now what am I doing? I'm going the other way. I'm trying to get my chest towards my heel. Okay, sounds crazy, but I'm going to drop my elbow. I'm going to keep that foot pinned down. Okay, so I've got that elbow down, I've got that foot pinned, driving the toes, and now I'm going to start moving my chest towards my heel. Now that's a horror. I'm sure you feel it now. That is a horror. Good, and again, what am I doing? I'm focusing on my breathing, trying to take it as far as I'm able to. And it's not nice. It's not nice in the slightest. Good. Good, I'm coming back to the center. Okay. Good, and I'm going to slowly, very slowly ease out. I want you to stand up, let everything circulate before we do the other side, and that'll be the last stretch we do today. Good. So I'm sure you feel, and again, you'll probably stand up and feel a bit wonky. You feel a bit lopsided. All of a sudden, one side of your pelvis is really mobile, and the other side's still pretty stiff. So it's perfectly normal to walk about like this going, whoa. So we're going to get the other side on the go. Get a bit of water if you need it. So that's one of my favourite stretches. You know, before I do anything, before I squat, before I exercise, a lot of the time, you know, I'm not being a creep. Before these classes, when I can hear you, I'm not sitting looking at the TV listening into your conversation. I'm usually doing the stretches and stuff that I need to do, like I keep saying to you. Pick 3 of them. There's probably 3 main areas that you think, God, every time I exercise that always feels tight. Usually it's my lower back, usually my groin's pretty tight, and usually I like to dead hang. That's usually what I'm doing, you know. When you all think I'm sitting listening to your conversation behind the scene, I am, but I'm being proactive while I'm doing it. Right, so big prominent stretch, let's go. So first part of the stretch is just getting that initial kind of freedom, what am I talking about, freedom? Just getting that tightness out first, that initial bit of tightness, that's exactly what I'm trying to say there. Okay, so it's a regular stretch here, it's just the normal one we do. I'm forcing the chest up, I'm trying to push my hips down. Okay, this could be a bad enough stretch for most people. So it's not relaxed, it's not chilled. Again, I'm just trying to take it as far as I can because it's important. There's no point going into these points where we're trying to enhance it if you're holding this here just now and it's hellish. Good, so now I'm going to keep pushing those hips towards the ground and I'm going to start moving away from the knee, but I'm not bringing that knee with me. I'm not letting this happen because otherwise all I'm doing is moving the same stretch into a different position. I'm trying to enhance it. Okay, I'm trying to go away from it. I'm trying to drive the toes into the ground. That'll help. Good, again, if you're struggling, just push it away from you with a hand. So you go into whatever position you feel you're getting a better stretch. For me, I'm twisting away from my knee. I'm pushing my hips towards the ground and I'm trying to twist my chest round. By doing that, I'm really enhancing the stretch deep in that groin. It's a horror, okay? Don't lean on the knee. Your knee is not there to lean on. You push the knee out. Yes, I'm talking to you, Cheryl. Trying not to use names these days, but yep, it is you, Cheryl. Stop leaning on the knee. Good. Right, I'm bringing it back to the centre. Don't ease out. Keep pushing those hips down, everybody. We're not having a rest yet. You'll get it in 30 seconds. Right, I'm going towards it now. Elbows down, pinning that foot. And now all I'm going to do for the next 30 seconds is try and get my chest towards my heel. If you manage, then congratulations. But you're not trying. You're trying to make that happen, but it probably won't. And it, you know, to be fair, it shouldn't, because you'll probably find you've dislocated your hip. Good, right, easing out. Good, and slowly standing up, oh Jesus, and relaxing there. Right, we are done. So what have we done this morning? More upper body than anything else, and then focusing on those key stretches on the hips, okay? We've never done the full hip routine. The full hip routine alone takes about an hour, and to be fair, we'll probably do that next time. As you can feel and as you can see a lot of the time when we're doing these stretches around the hips, there's that many we do, because you know, that many muscle groups connect. Upper body connects, lower body connects, all into this pelvis. So we get a lot of tightness, so we couldn't possibly do it all in an hour. But we focused on the key ones for the hips. More of it today was on upper body. Like I say, if you're struggling, if you notice today, oh man, I'm struggling to do that, you should be able to. You know, the easiest test to do is if you go against a wall. It's not the best wall, go against a flat wall. You know, stand up nice and tall, heels go to the wall, shoulder blades pinned as if you're getting your height taken. You get your arms up at 90 degrees. You should be able to put your arms up above your head straight and back down while keeping your shoulder blades together. But what you'll find will happen is your hand and elbow will move off the wall round about here, or you'll start feeling your back arch, or you'll start coming forward, okay? If that's you and you can't keep them straight, Start working on your overhead mobility more. You'll thank me in the long run. Dead hangs, hanging off a bar is the best way to do it. Doesn't matter what, it could be a bar, it could be anything. Just hanging there as best you can. You don't even have to bring your whole foot off the ground. You can just take the weight off and you're getting a great stretch, okay? That's the best one. Again, shoulder injuries aside, if you have got shoulder bother, take care. You might still be able to dead hang. Try changing the position of your hands, you know, from overhand to underhand, but just take care. And a lot of the time, shoulder pain comes from people having bad mobility, okay? People having bad mobility, so they end up, when you're doing weights, for example, and you try and force it through this range, when you can't quite freely move in the first place, you're going to end up hurting yourself, okay? That's why usually if you've got bad shoulder mobility, we won't really be doing much of that for a wee while until you've fixed it. Anyway, thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. Yes, you're going to feel uncomfortable in a lot of these stretches. You're probably going to feel it afterwards as well to some degree. You know, you do get a little bit achy at the end of the day. You've worked your muscles hard, you've pushed them through a range of movement they're not happy doing, but you shouldn't be hurting yourself. You should not be in pain. You should not have a dodgy wrist or whatever it is afterwards. If you have, then I'm not taking the hit for that. I am not taking the hit for that one. That's your own damn fault. If you're hurting yourself by stretching, that's not on me, that's on you, being glaikit, okay? And I'm happy to say that. Stretching, you should not be injuring yourself stretching. If you are, you've either got a very high pain tolerance or you're doing something severely wrong, okay? Either way, I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you're feeling the benefits. I certainly am. And I think I was sitting yesterday going, God, you know what? I'm not feeling as achy as I normally do. Just keeping on top of it. This lockdown has its bonuses. It's given us a lot more time to focus on the things we should be focusing more on, most of us anyway. But definitely feeling a benefit from it, I am. So I hope you are too. And I hope, you know, it's not something, you don't do mobility and go, wow, you know, I feel fantastic. You know, I'm not exactly buzzing. It's not like exercise. It doesn't exactly get the endorphins flowing around. But hopefully when you're doing circuits, etc., or other movements, you're starting to think, God, I can squat a bit deeper, or, you know, I'm able to pull my knees apart a bit more. Or when I'm sat on this chair all day working, typing at a computer like I'm just about to be, I'm a bit more aware of my posture. I'm a bit more, you know, yep, I'm sitting the hips up. Oh, I can see what he means. My hips are tilted. Because a lot of the time I'll be sat there and then I'll consciously realise that I'm sitting like this. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, man? So hopefully it's giving you a better kind of awareness of your body at the same time as well. Awareness is in, you know, posture, not like up here. We're not into all that. Anyway, go to yoga if you like that and you'll get a wee sleep at the end of it. Sorry, meditating.